Hello and welcome to Learn a Trade. I am Kevin Tate, and today I'm at a site working on a two-barrel Slurpee machine that they say there was a technician out here a few days ago that said he made a repair, but he made a repair of a leak, but they say that the leak is still going on. So I got to the site and you can see on the floor there's a puddle of water up there. I've checked the back because sometimes these drain lines, they will come out of the floor drain line, and they'll leak onto the floor. So I was thinking that might have been it at first, but once I looked into it a little more, let me get a little light here. You can see here there's liquid seeping out from the bottom of the unit there. So I can see where it is leaking, and it's leaking down to this hole right here and then leaking down onto the floor also. Then it looks like I've got a little bit of a leak right here at the water flow valve. This is a 50 psi water flow valve, so I'm probably going to end up tightening up that fitting right there. But the main thing that I found was right here. You can see all of the water or liquid sitting right here. And what's happening is this right here is a active charge valve. So this valve sets the pressure for the syrup to about 30 psi. This is preset for 30 psi. So the pressure goes into these expansion tanks right here, okay, and this should be just air, should just be CO2 flowing through here. There should be no liquid in this assembly at all. Should just be CO2. CO2 sends pressure through here, through these expansion tank, and then the air pushes against the syrup that's on this other side of the expansion tank. In this expansion tank, there's a diaphragm that divides the two sections, and when that diaphragm ruptures, the the syrup that's coming in from the back room, from the racks, that syrup's gonna seep into the CO2 side, and then it starts to take over, and then as you can see right in there, there's a little liquid right in there. So that's showing me that this unit has a bad expansion tank. But now, since the liquid went into the CO2 line into the active charge, let me just show you. Just take a look here. I don't want to get. It's gonna squirt out a little. See it? See that right there? Like that. That should not. There should be no syrup in that assembly. So that means that I'm gonna have to clear this all the way out. Once I get this disconnected and replaced, before I put it back together, I got to make sure that this is clean. I got to make sure that this is cleared out with no um, liquid in it. Um, so sometimes you can get away with removing this and then cleaning it out. You can open it up right here. You can just use a wrench and then take it off, rinse it out, which is what I'll probably do because it's still a good active charge. So I'm probably going to end up doing that. And then I'm just going to make sure that the rest of these lines, like right here, this line is going to the other expansion tank that's on the other side here for the other flavor. So I'm going to make sure that that's not going to affect that expansion tank over there. And I got to make sure that that liquid is out of that line too. So that's what I'm going to end up doing. And I'm going to try to get the camera positioned where you can see what's going on. But we'll see what happens. Okay, first I'm working on loosening up the nuts that are holding this expansion tank on. It's a very tight area to get into, so bear with me. I'm gonna probably go into some silence while I'm doing this, but very tight area. Especially the one on the opposite side. But once you get the line the nut loose, you can pretty much do the rest with your hand. And I don't take the nuts the nut all the way off. I because this tank right here, this expansion tank that I'm holding right here, it it has two slots that slide right into that area there. So now what I'm trying to do now is just set everything up so that I can remove the two syrup lines that are connected to the right here. These There's a line here, and then there's an insulated line on the other side of it. Wow, excuse me. Yeah, so I was trying to the show you the how this insulated line is connected to the to this expansion tank, and I see you can see right here the fitting just snapped right on me. It just snapped. So these things happen. Well, this is the line that was in, and you can see how the fitting just snapped right off, and then it just came spewing out. But this is all part of it, folks. So now I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this line, and I'm gonna have to set my phone aside, so you probably won't be able to see a lot of what I'm doing, but I'll try to walk you through it once I'm done. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this disconnected and get that new unit in, and I gotta get this all this syrup and stuff cleaned up as best I can inside here, and then try to clean this active charge valve. Okay, so just wanted to show you, this is that line that the fitting broke on me a few moments ago. I just replaced replaced it with a new fitting and a new clamp. I cut back that line a little bit, and then I replaced the fitting and the clamp. Okay, I have the other fitting out that was over on this side. So now I'm ready to go ahead and cut my active charge line here that's coming from the pump, and then I'm gonna dump this expansion tank into a bucket and let it drain out. Um, Usually with situations like this, once you cut this, you'll see all of the liquid coming out and stuff like that. So let me just see if I can let you let you see without getting sprayed here. See that? There you go. Yeah, it just spews out, and then you work on catching it. That's why I put the towels down and stuff. But let me grab this out of here. Give me a second. There we go. See there? There should be no liquid coming out of that side, and you can see how there's a lot of liquid that's letting you know that the diaphragm in that tank is ruptured. So now I'm going to work on getting this cleaned up and cleaning out this valve right here. By the way, I have the CO2. The main CO2 is coming right in here, and let me just show you something about these valves. So the main CO2 is coming in this fitting right here, this line. This is your inlet. This one here is your outlet. That one's going over to the other expansion tank, which is right over. It's right over there, right there. So this line here is the other expansion tank, the one that I just removed. So you got two outlets and you have one inlet. And then this here is for you to test your pressure. You could take, like, one of those tire pressure gauges. You could take that, put it up to there, and you could test your pressure with that. Um, there is an adjustment screw up here, right up top, but usually you don't have to bother with this because these come preset for 30 psi, and I I have never ran into an issue where I had to adjust it. So that's just a little bit of information for you on the active charge. And then let's see if I can show you here. Yeah, right here we have, just wanted to show you those two nuts that hold in that tank, that expansion tank. They're right here. One's here, one's right there. So I'm just gonna clean this stuff up before it spreads even more, and then I'm gonna get this uh, active charge cleaned up. Okay, just want to give you a look. I got that area cleaned up as best I can right now, but at least it's a little more dry in there. I'm still gonna have to see if I can um, get this lifted up so that I can get at underneath, because I don't know if you can see it, but when you move this around, you can see the stuff underneath it is seeping out. So I'm gonna have to um, wedge this up, like lean it one way, and then get under there with my vacuum and try to dry that area out underneath, or else it'll just keep seeping out, and then you'll keep getting calls for a leak when it's really just residue that's seeping out from underneath. Okay, now I'm starting to get those lines I disconnected. I'm starting to get those connected. I just wanted to show you how those go in. They seat right down here, and then this blue, it's like a locking mechanism. Once you got it seated where it's flush against the tank, you just push it in and it locks it in. Okay, now I have that other one. That other line is in place. Now I'll just see if I can line it up with the screws, so you can see right there. Let's see if I can give you a look this way. It's a little, give me 1 second. Let me just get it where you can see here. Okay. Let's see if you can see how it locks in there. Excuse the movement, but I'm trying to do it with one hand. There. There you go. See, it has a slot that slides underneath those nuts, and then later on I'll just go ahead and tighten those down. Once I got everything settled, I'll tighten them a little more just to make sure it's in there. Okay, now I'm gonna work on getting this removed. I've loosened the top and the top portion, and what I'm doing now is just pulling off the top here, top section of this valve. As you can see, it has a spring assembly. To it. That spring assembly lines up on that nut, on that inner nut, and then, like I said, these are preset for 30 psi. But you can see that the spring assembly has some build up on it a little bit, and then there is definitely fluid stuck in there. So usually you could pull that right up and out. Um, just don't you just don't want to lose any of the pieces. So I'm just going to set this over here for right now, and then I just want to look inside here, see if I can get. Okay. Just cleaning up right around in here, and then I'm gonna turn the CO2 on to allow this line to blow out whatever it has in there, and then we should be good. I mean, these don't these parts don't look too bad, so I'm gonna clean these off, dry them, and then go ahead and blow out these lines here. I mean, usually, if they're really bad, you could go ahead and swap them out, but this one doesn't look that bad to me, and I'm gonna just go with my first judgment and then dry it out and clean these parts off and then put it back together again, and we should be good to go after that. All I have to do after that is just is mainly cleaning up all of this, all of the liquid that spilled um, over time behind the machine, and then on the side underneath this this unit right here. So that'll be all that's left after that. But we're gonna get this going first, and then we'll work on the other stuff. Okay, so I have the valve. I have that all cleaned out. I have I have turned the CO2 back on also. So now they can see the syrup in the lines there. There's nothing here. Just gonna give it a little tap. All right, so that's good there. Put the cap back on there. And I've already tested this valve with my tire gauge, and it's at 30 pounds. So for right now, we replaced this ruptured bladder tank. And just to explain again, this bladder tank has two sides to it. It has a CO2 side and it has a liquid side. So the liquid is usually over here on this side, goes right in here. So this other side is the CO2 side. So CO2 pressure is pushing the liquid out and up into the barrels. That's how these work, and it's doing it through this 30 pounds of pressure from the active charge. Just to remind you on that. So right now I'm just gonna take a little moment and do some mopping and some cleaning, because if you look right here, somebody just left this all a mess. It looks like they replaced this transducer and they forgot to clamp their line, so the liquid came out and sprayed all over, and they didn't really clean it up that good. So I'm gonna try to do my best to get this cleaned up, at least, get most of the wet stuff up. It's not leaking from here anymore, so I'm assuming that they replaced this transducer right here, and in doing that, it leaked out. Or they could have been getting a sample from the sample tube to test it, and it probably sprayed out of here and sprayed all over. But I just want to clean that up, because I don't like to leave leakage sitting around, because once it starts seeping out, That's just another call. And then I'm gonna pry this machine up so that I can get underneath as best I can with my vacuum and clean that out. So we'll see how that all goes. Okay, so I got that top portion cleaned up. Remember, it was all pretty thick with old syrup and mixture of syrup and water. But this looks like it's all set now. I'm just gonna button up everything and then remop this floor before I go. But just gotta clean up all my tools and stuff. But that was a replacement of a BIB pump. These are called, these expansion tanks, they're called BIB. I'm sorry. These are called expansion tanks, and the actual syrup is coming from the back room, from the bib, the BIB, and the BIB pump is in the back room, and it pumps the syrup to this expansion tank, which in turn sends the syrup into the barrels with the water. And we also disassembled, cleaned, and reassembled the active charge valve. So that should do it for this one. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish cleaning up on everything. I appreciate you all watching, and we'll see you on the next job. Thank you. Stay well. Be blessed.